Hi, this is Luigi Subtil. I play Sean Archer on Chicago Med, and you're listening to Men and Family Chats.
Welcome back to FFC. I'm Maureen.
And I'm Jeanette.
And we are back with our final Chicago season finale of Chicago. Just want to make it very clear because it has been renewed. We don't know when it's coming back exactly, just like we don't know when anything else is coming back except for some of our Netflix shows and some shows coming up in the summer. But we don't know when Chicago's coming back. They did just have their finales on all three shows. So season 10 finale of PD, season 11 finale of Fire, and season 8 finale of Med. So we are going to dig into those things that we've been waiting for, things that we
and dreading
correctly and incorrectly, and things that we have liked and didn't like. And they did, in true Dick Wolf style, did leave us hanging on several things.
So many things. So many things.
We're going to start with the most devastating one, which is PD. Obviously, that was the most devastating ending, was PD. Although
I don't know, because we'll get there. Like, I think, we'll get there.
But this is the case that we've been building up to for weeks. Even I wouldn't even say months. It's been months, hasn't it? When we first met Sam and Callum.
Yeah.
Because it started because they even flashed back to that episode when they approached her, the son, Callum, was sitting in that square box and told not to move. It started there, which was months ago. So we've been building up to this, and we're just going to rip the Band-Aid right off tonight. Let's just dig in.
Let's do it.
So this case, Adam, we see right off the bat, poor Adam. I felt, but mine was more of a different thing. I felt that tired before. Like, I get that.
Yeah. This whole episode, though, like I'll say, I mean, from the very beginning of seeing him like going through these calls and just like, seeing glimpses of him doing so with Kim and him being with the Becks and just different things, I had so much anxiety the whole episode.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. I didn't know what to do with myself.
I was kind of waiting for when they were going to find out who he really was and who Michaela really was my biggest fear.
I tell you, I mean, we're not quite, there was another part. We'll come back to it when we kind of get down, digging into kind of how this case like flowed, because I had a major fear about Michaela that I was even like messaging Eve about. I was like, oh my gosh, like, nothing's gonna happen to her, right? Like, it was like, I won't forgive Dick Wolf for that.
Because he's not afraid to go after kids in these shows.
I know.
And we haven't seen her in a while, so I was very afraid.
I mean, I guess typically he doesn't attack like the children that are main characters. I mean, I know that I can think of.
Antonio's daughter, Michaela, has been involved in something before. Voight's son was murdered.
That's true. Well, Justin was an adult, so I mean, okay,
still somebody's kid.
Yeah.
Didn't something happen with Al's daughter too, and his wife? Something certainly happened with his wife, but I'm pretty sure the daughter was in there too.
I don't think the daughter was involved in that one. I mean, something happened to her, but it wasn't anything. I mean, we did kill her when she was like, barely in college. So, I mean, even though she was an adult, like,
I forgot we killed her.
We killed Lexi. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that.
Was it? I think it was Lexi. I don't know. Either way, yeah. I'm sorry to bring that trauma back up, but
okay. So you guys know that Al's death has drastically impacted me mentally, and certainly when I watch these shows. And I mentioned last week that my favorite music scene was him and Al with the typewriter, and so I went in search of that, and all I found instead were Al's memorial videos and his funeral episodes, and I watched them all because I'm an idiot. And I sobbed for days. I said it in the chat, and Jeanette just went, nope.
I didn't watch them. You sent them, and I was like, I'm not. Forget it. You can forget it.
But so I totally get your anxiety, because that's what I felt when I knew Al was going to die, was that anxiety, because Adam, there's a breaking point coming for him, something. And when it happened, I mean, he's going through all these logs, recording and transcribing all of these things. And I felt so bad for him when he's talking to Kim saying, I've got nothing. I mean, he's been on this for months and he has no information. And I didn't dawn on me then, but when he said that Beck just talks in circles, he doesn't actually give him any information.
Yeah.
I wonder how long Beck knew. I wonder if it went back to, remember that one scene when he confronted Adam? I wonder if he knew then and is just kind of like pulling him along.
I've been wondering, maybe he didn't know, but I think he definitely
Didn't
had
trust him.
suspicions.
Yeah.
And that's why he didn't fully trust him.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Certainly he didn't trust his own daughter either, and that's who Adam was spending all the time with.
Right. And then, I mean, of course, hearing like he moves up the date and he's told Sam nothing and Ruzek knows nothing. I mean, I'm in like full panic mode. I wish I could like officially send you, like I need to sometimes just screenshot what mine and Eve's conversations. Although there's a lot of bad language. So you would just have to ignore that. Like I said some really mean things about this child Callum, if I'm being honest. Like I don't regret any of them. I'm sorry. I know I have children his age, but like at the moment, this is how I felt. It was the moment when, no, I guess I'll just say it. Okay. Cause I gotta, before I forget, it was the moment when we were talking about, well, the moment that we all saw in the previews where like what we thought was going to happen, where Kevin gets almost blown up in this like thing. Well, when he's in that room and he's kind of seeing what the targets are, and we find out that it's schools that are predominantly like minority, like schools. I wrote to Eve, I said, where does Michaela go to school? Because I thought for a second, like, are we going to like bomb her school or whatever? Like, this is what I thought was going to happen. And it wasn't. Then I was like, no. I mean, obviously Kevin saw the maps and he knows where Michaela goes to school. So they would have said something, but I had like an intense fear.
Yeah.
Because I was like, where does Adam live? Does he live anywhere near the South Side? Like I was trying to think to myself, like, where would this child go to school?
Well, I mean, even before that, when Adam was taking Sam after she confessed, after they got him to do all this stuff, he's in the car with her, and she said, "Do you really have a daughter?" And he said, "Yes." And she was asking questions about him. He was giving her answers, and I kept thinking, don't give her any sort of leverage. I absolutely thought, because she was so despondent, she looked so angry. I thought that she was going to turn and you find a way to use Michaela against them the way they were using Callum as leverage.
I said that to Eve too. I said, I wish he would stop using her real name.
Yes.
But I guess, I mean, in the end, I mean, obviously Sam wasn't fully trustworthy. I mean, she was in the way that she didn't necessarily wish any harm towards Adam, even after knowing he's a cop.
But she would kill anybody for her kid.
Which, for that, I can't fault her, okay? Because I'm a mother and there's not much I wouldn't do to protect my child. So that I'm not going to fault her on. At the time I did, because I'm like, don't leave him. But
I mean, if I watched my kid shoot somebody, I probably wouldn't be like, you die, I'm going to take my kid. I don't think I would do that.
Honestly, I won't even say. I don't know what I'd do in that moment.
To protect my child's life, I would do a lot.
Yeah.
But when my child's life is not in danger, I don't think I would. I think I would be a little more scared of the kid than I would be of the adult who's dying.
Her too, though. She's been raised. It's not like she's been taught necessarily like morally right from wrong either. So I guess
but she gets it though.
I understand her motivation for taking Callum out of there. Like I can understand that urge to like protect him at all costs. I don't know.
And the crazy thing is, Adam did too.
Yeah.
Adam completely understood that. And he wanted to do that for Callum, knowing that Callum was going into the dark side. He still wanted to protect him in that way.
Yeah. I am like nervous talking about this. Like, this is how like stressed I was. I can just picture it. I did not rewatch this one because I was like, I honestly don't think I can.
No, I don't ever want to rewatch this one.
No, I mean, I'll never forget, like, Eve and I are texting like constant. I'm like, thank God for her, because the rest of y'all didn't watch live and I would not have survived. I told her, because Shelby's birthday was the next day and I was going to be planning a bunch of stuff. And so I said, oh my goodness, if he dies in this episode, Dick Wolf has officially ruined my child's birthday because I am not going to be able to concentrate tomorrow. And I was like, are you kidding? Like, I really thought that's what was going to happen. I was like, am I going to be able to get through a party? I don't know, because I'm going to be thinking about Adam. You guys remember I was in mourning after DeLuca died, and I really thought that's what we were doing again.
Well, actually, I don't think we were doing this when DeLuca died. So like, I didn't know the depth of it until you started comparing every character death to DeLuca. And then I was like,
stressful. It was awful. It was exactly the same situation, except for, Eve took Amanda's place. But yeah, it was a lot.
Did you see it playing out the way? Because Adam broke his own cover. Did you see it playing out that way?
not before the episode started, but as he was talking to Sam, I did, because I was like, this is the only way he's going to be able to get her to
Yeah.
like hear what he's saying. I think, to know that, like, I don't know. I saw it happening, and I didn't think you should let Callum go upstairs to pack his own stuff.
That's what I said too.
This kid has been messed up and creepy since the first time I laid eyes on him. Well, maybe not first time, because in the box I thought he was cute and I felt sorry for him. Okay, after that, I was like, this kid, he's messed up. He's too, I don't want to say he's too far gone. I guess no one's too far gone, but it's pretty close in my opinion. I don't know what you would do to save this child at this point. I mean, he's been brainwashed too much, I think.
And what was crazy to me about when Adam gave himself up as cop, she was almost more angry that he was a police officer than that her father would have sent him to stop her.
Yeah.
Like, she was more mad that he was going to protect her and Callum
yeah.
than she was that her dad, because she was running because she was afraid of her dad. And she even said, you don't understand. My dad will actually kill me. But then here's Adam as police trying to protect her and Callum. And she's more angry that he's police and I do about being police than she is about, oh, you're stopping me because my dad wanted you to.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to, like, I mean, I guess just the same as Callum's been so brainwashed. Imagine, I mean, Sam has grown up with this her whole life. I mean, she's probably, even though she understands the right from wrong, now that she's a mother, and I think those things are kicking in, I think she's probably been it's been so ingrained in her that we cannot trust the police. It can't be like,
that's true.
You know, I mean,
yeah. And she said that she's only been sort of like awakened to how wrong the supremacy thing her dad is on once she had Callum. So that's what, 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So she was fully on the Nazi white supremacy train until she had a son. And even in that, like, let's talk about how she got this deal, because the ASA said that she needed to give them addresses, names, item details, plan information, all these things. It's Kim and Kevin who got upset that she got immunity for it. And while I get that, I would hate to see her not punished. I think she should be. Did she do the things her dad did? No. But was she complicit in it? Yes. There still has to be some sort of penalty. However, if it's her one life versus the hundreds that are going to get blown up, I get where Adam's saying. I can see that, because Adam didn't like it either. And I think that it was almost like Kevin and Kim kind of thought, Adam, you're not seeing her clearly. And it wasn't that. I really think it was Adam saying, I don't like it either, but if she doesn't get us this information, we only have 7 hours to figure it out. People are going to die.
Yeah. I do think Adam was a little bit compromised in that he felt something for them. Understandably, he had spent months like almost as like a part of their family.
Yeah.
So I see why he felt sorry for him. So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, he could see too that he could see who the real danger was.
Of, also like the goodness that there probably maybe is inside Sam. And so, I mean,
well, that's the reason she was running, because she didn't want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And that one scene where they are eating in the diner and then that black family comes in and they just got, oh my gosh, I got so mad at that scene. And I was a little surprised that Adam stood there and watched them for a little bit. I'm not, like, I couldn't tell was it their point in doing that just so that we could see it was a black family, because we could clearly see it when they walked in. What was the point of having Adam stand up and stare at them like that?
I guess just as his like feeling sorry. I don't know. I think him hanging back a little bit. I mean, like, did anyone else see him hanging back?
That's it. Like, that's why I thought why are you doing that? That's dangerous.
I feel like, and I mean, maybe it's Adam that this hit so close to home because of Michaela. I feel like he was just not that great undercover this time. Like, he was really letting things slip. Like, whereas I feel like normally he is, like, when we see him go under, we've never seen him go under for this intense in this long period of time. But even still, we've seen him, like, he plays this part really well. I mean, even the time that with the guy that was trafficking the girls, I mean, he took that almost like really far enough that it would make me incredibly uncomfortable. Yeah. And he did a better job, like, being undercover.
And I think that's because Callum is the same age as his daughter.
Yeah.
And it affected him. And it's even, we could tell that he was slipping in that one episode remember when he was supposed to pick up Michaela from the diner? She was with
Mhm.
her friend.
Yeah.
And then Sam showed up and he was like, what do you followed me? What did you see? And he had no idea he was even followed.
Right.
And so he wasn't and that's why it made me nervous whenever he brought up Michaela into this,
Yeah.
because he was not as careful as he thought, because he was trying to connect with her.
Mhm.
Now that she knows you're police, you don't have to continue to try to connect with her.
No, I think
Stop
he just wanted
talking
to
about
save
Michaela.
her.
He
And-
did so bad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it was so horrible. And when they all took it at once, they took all those buildings. I was a little confused. I
Mhm.
thought they were all going to attack the one place. I guess I didn't realize when she gave all the names that she gave several different locations. But
Yeah,
that was the
I didn't
moment that I
either.
realized that Beck must have
like,
realized
Mhm.
Adam has completely pinged my phone, or
Yeah.
tracked, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
tracked his phone and tracked his, because he left both of them somewhere. But the fact that he was watching Kevin through that camera, it was
Mhm.
like he waited for Kevin to see what he was going to blow up. Like he wanted him to know,
Yes.
I'm gonna kill all these kids.
Yeah.
And you get to know that before I kill you. That was like how crazy this man is.
Yeah. It was weird. It was all very like weird. I'm gonna try to let the cat back in real
Okay.
quick. You come hang out this time? Just lay down somewhere. Like this back and forth. I don't understand it. Come on, right here. Come here. Right here. All right, we'll see what happens here.
And like, I did have the same thought as you when Callum went upstairs to pack by himself. Like, why would you let him do that? There's been several times where you found him with a phone that his grandpa had given him and you guys had to take it away from him. We've seen
Mhm.
that before. But when Callum turned around, the look on his face was so disturbing
Yeah.
and so creepy. It was like, do you remember that movie that Macaulay Culkin was in when he was a kid? It was
Oh
about
yeah, with
this.
Elijah Wood.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was it? It was something Son, but it was like
The Good Son or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
it was like that
Yeah.
kind of level creepy.
Yeah.
And that Adam was he was just trying to play it cool. Like, no, let's go do this right now. To be how did he survive that long?
I
He
don't
was
know.
shot in the chest, point blank. And at first I thought, oh, Callum's gonna feel bad about it. But then when he saw his mom come up there, it's like Callum got angry all over again.
I thought Sam was going to help him. I really did. I don't know why
I
I was so
didn't.
naive to think that she would, but I don't know.
Oh, help Adam. I thought you meant help Callum.
Yeah, no, Adam, I really thought she would help. Like, I mean, I still thought she would take Callum and run, but I thought she would like, I don't know.
Technically, she did, because she left his phone where he could eventually get to it.
After I thought he was, I mean, but he could have bled out. Like,
I know. And
I
he
was
didn't know. It's
so
not like he knew the phone was down there. It had to ring for him to know it was down there.
as he's calling Kim, I mean, me and Eve are both like, answer the phone, Kim.
I was doing the same thing.
Quit the chit chat and pick up the phone. Like,
Now, I don't know why, but I didn't suspect that Adam was going to get shot. I should have, but I didn't. I totally thought Adam was going to talk his way out of it. So when he was shot, I flew. We were like, my girls were in there with me. They wanted to watch PD with me, which was maybe not the
terrible
best
one to
week.
watch. Yeah.
But I was laying back, and I did this twice in a row because we watched Fire first.
Yeah.
And so this happened, and I shot right up, and I'm going, no! And my kids are going, what? I'm like, just don't look at the screen.
Mhm.
And then I'm yelling at Kim through my TV. Like,
Yeah.
if
You know, I
Adam
finally
is
went
calling
to
you, you
sleep.
think maybe there's a reason.
I finally was asleep. I'm like, I'm
How
gonna wake him up.
How
Like,
did you get through that?
I yelled and I was like, and even David, I think he peeked back there. Of course, they had already seen me. There was a moment in Ned where they saw me like gasp for air and they were like, what happened? We'll talk about it later.
Nothing. Leave me to my shows.
Yeah. It was very stressful. I almost opened a bottle of wine at 11 o'clock after this was over because I was like, I feel like I need a drink right now. This is a lot.
Now, here's this did kind of make me giggle. And it's not funny. It's not because it's like funny, but like I feel bad saying I laughed. I feel really bad saying I laughed. But when
Same.
Kim realized who it was on the phone and she realized what was happening, she took off sprinting. And the next time we see her, she's sprinting up to the scene. Did she run all the way from that warehouse to Sam's house?
She might have.
That's why I laughed, because she made real good time. She ran because we watch her run past every vehicle that's there.
Mhm.
And the next thing we see is she's sprinting up on scene. She doesn't
I
come up in a car
mean-
like Kevin does later. She comes running up.
She was getting to him, you know. I
mean,
told
a
you
car would
that
be
was
faster.
the best, the only little highlight of this happening was this sounds weird to say this, but I kind of liked seeing her in that panic mode that
Yeah,
we've seen him
I
be
agree.
in for her as well. Not that I want to, like, I don't want to wish her like fear
You
and all
want
of
to see
those
that
things.
devotion.
Yes. And I mean, this week's episode with them, not only that, with like when we talked about them, you know, laying in bed talking, I feel like it solidified that I don't think there'll ever be another problem between
No.
Kim and Adam. I think
No.
we are done with all of that. Like, I think they are completely solid and they'll stay that way. So
And I mean, honestly,
that's nice.
that's a little played out by now, right? I mean,
Yes.
we've done that trope a
Yes.
million different times.
Yes.
Be creative
it was
and make
nice.
them happy.
Yes. I mean, that was the one, I guess, good thing, I think.
Did you have a panic attack when they were in the ambulance and then he flatlined
yeah.
after he said to get Callum because Richard was going to get him? And then he just flatlines. And for all I could think of was Kim on that subway saying, "You're going to be fine." As she holds remember that when she had the gun went off and she was holding the gauze on him and he died, but she kept saying, "You're fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine," while she's panicking. That's all I could think of while she was saying that to Adam, and then he flatlined. I was so terrified.
I was like, I don't know. This was traumatic. And I know that like everything like is good. We think. I mean,
well, what we hear, and I know we got the deleted scene or that image, but all we hear is Haley say he was just knocked out and wheeled in the surgery. That's the last thing we hear of him in this episode.
yeah.
But did you notice, and this is the other reason why I was real tense and panicky, because the doors that Kim is standing outside waiting to hear word were the same. And I only know this because I binge watched all the Al scenes. It are the exact same doors in the exact same position that Hank was when he got the news that Al died.
No,
Like the
I
same
didn't know
doors.
that.
Yes.
Yikes.
And that's all I could think.
Look, there's no way. What I was thinking is I was like, where is Crockett? I'm gonna need y'all to call him in there because I don't trust whoever this other guy is.
Was he been brought to Med?
2.0. I don't know. I'm like, we need like this. We need the best. Although we don't need 2.0 right now because it's not functioning. But we do need Crockett. I was like, where is he?
No. And it's Trudy. And it's interesting that Trudy is the one who convinces her, because obviously we'll talk about that in Fire, but
I thought
Trudy's
that
gonna
too.
need some support too.
Which maybe that's why she was at the hospital. But maybe you should go back.
Hope not.
Well, I mean, wouldn't she have been like, maybe she was already there? Like,
But she was in her work clothes.
But she came there from work and just been there.
Oh, that would be sad then, because
and she left his room.
We can't talk about Fire yet.
Because Herman was, I mean, that's sad. I don't know.
But Trudy is the one, and she's going to be the one needing advice. She's the one who convinces Kim to go for Adam. And she said, this is why it would be more sad if that's true, because she said, "I will not leave his side. I will stay right here."
And the thing is, Trudy won't leave his side.
I know. So if what you're saying is true, that's real bad news.
Don't you think, though? I mean,
yes, it makes sense, especially since PD comes after Fire.
I didn't think about that till just now, so I just had to say it out loud.
Man, I don't like this week's episode. I don't like it was good. That intensity was so great. Good. It was so, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, but I am not pleased with these particular cliffhangers.
No,
I don't enjoy. I don't need that kind of tension.
Was so high for 3 solid hours. Yes. Like, it was not good for me. If I'm being, maybe not so much. It wasn't really high in Med till the end, and I got like mopey, so it got probably a little high. And then the next 2 hours, it was just intense.
And then I thought again, it raised again because Kim was in the line of fire with Richard.
Yeah,
when she found them, I was like, okay, you cannot leave this with Adam shot and then Kim being shot. You cannot leave it this way.
Mm-hmm.
And even the way Richard came up, like, he clearly did not care if he took out Sam. Care. He didn't care at all. I don't think he would have cared if he took out Callum. And then the way he said to Hank, the thing is, he doesn't want me to let him go. He's willing to die. He's 10. He doesn't know anything other than what you're telling him.
Yeah.
It just, but thank God for Kevin. Thank God Kevin took that shot. But also,
I'm worried for Kevin because I mean, like, I feel like there's a chance that this story isn't completely over.
Oh, it can't be.
By the way the look that Callum gave Kevin was terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was sort of what sealed the deal on me, that as I thought, okay, if this kid shows some sort of remorse in this moment after he's seen kind of the links that his grandfather would go to put him in harm's way, and like I thought maybe we'll see something, and then I can be like, okay, Callum, like cool, like we'll help you. But then no, I don't know.
But I think that's why we didn't see it, because I think what's going to need to happen for this kid is he's going to need to separate those two things. Because first, I didn't know it was Kevin at first. Obviously, no one did at first. You just see Richard Beckett shot. And the first thing that came out of my mouth is, oh no, this kid's going to be traumatized because he just watched someone who professed to love him, someone who professed, he's using him as a shield, but he's been convinced to think, I'm supposed to be. Yeah. I had to protect him at all costs. This is for the greater good. This is what's better. Yeah. And that's what he's thinking right now. And to have his grandpa killed right then, my first thought went to, he's going to be traumatized. But then when I see Kevin, you know that he's not really even seeing Kevin as necessarily the Black population. He's seeing Kevin as a Black man who killed his grandpa. Yeah. So it's not even going to solidify what his grandpa has taught him about the minorities, but it's going to solidify, I have to do what my grandpa did, or was trying to do, because a Black man took my grandpa out. Yeah. So and the only way to fix it is to have him separate those. And that's going to take a lot of intensive therapy and probably juvenile detention.
And I'm terrified that Adam is this could be the only problem that may arise for Burzek still, is I feel like I don't want Adam to make this his mission to save this kid. And I'm afraid that he might. And
he will if he's around.
Rightfully so. Will say you probably you need to take a step back and you can't do this for the sake of your family. I don't know.
And there's nothing Adam can do. It's not something that even Sam can't do anything. This kid has got to be under extreme licensed psychoanalysis. Yes. Yeah. I would even say beyond that, probably in a psych ward, right? Being with constant intervention. Yeah. Because you have to break what it's, because he wasn't like this in the beginning of the 2 months. When Adam first started going out with him, he was a normal kid who didn't have a problem with Black people, but it was in that span of 2 months. So it's just a couple, I wouldn't even say 6 weeks. His grandpa had him convinced of this. So it's just 6 weeks. You got to break him up, but you have to separate it from the act of killing his grandpa.
Brainwash in a matter of 6 weeks though. I
know. Well, that's because his grandpa and his mom is all he's got. And his mom is into things that aren't legal either.
Right.
And I'm curious what's going to happen to her now. Because Callum's going to be proud now to say he shot at him.
Yeah.
And Sam is going to have to finally face the music that she made the deal for immunity, but her dad's dead. So maybe she'll want to be arrested if Callum is. What else does she got to live for if Callum's arrested?
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's not the end.
No, it can't be. It can't be.
I'm kind of bummed about, because I was ready to be done with this.
I was too. And I just hope that my issue is we talked about that deleted image that we saw. So obviously there was a scene.
Oh yeah, let's bring that up.
With Adam laying in the hospital bed, which I'm assuming is after surgery. It would have to be. And Kim is laying kind of resting her head there by
still in her green hoodie.
Why wouldn't you have shown that? Unless what worries me is you deleted that scene. I don't know, in
but
case
they also released
the ending of it.
Maybe here's what I think. I think that maybe they had scripted that, they had filmed it, and they didn't know how long the writer's strike would go on. Maybe they put that out there as a little, hey, don't give up on us yet, because they're the ones who released the photo.
That's true.
That wouldn't be released without their approval. So they did that intentionally. I mean, there's no other way.
The other photos they showed, with that.
I only saw that one. Were there others?
Somebody posted. Yeah, I think it was posted along with the shot of Will and Natalie.
Oh, I didn't see any of those.
Of, Casey proposing to Brett.
Okay.
So it makes me wonder why that image with two that you did show in the episodes. I don't know. It felt weird.
And maybe they filmed part of the next season. Maybe they
just messed up and forgot that they didn't put that in there, which it's fine as long as you stick to that, and you don't go back and try to change it.
I don't think they will. Honestly, I don't think Adam's going to die because that would be beyond cruel. The only reason for them to kill Adam would be if Patty wanted to leave the show. Otherwise, there's no reason.
We've seen that happen on both of our other shows with some pretty big names, so it's not unheard of.
The other thing too with that is maybe they did screw up. Maybe they didn't mean to put out that particular image, but I think the intent is clear that that is an image they filmed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to show up somewhere, whether it's in a flashback, whether it's next season, whatever. Because sometimes when they end for a season, they already have the beginning, especially with Chicago I've noticed the season starts off exactly where they left off. So they look the same, the outfits are similar, and then within that episode they might do a little time jump forward.
That's true.
So I feel like that's what it was. I feel like it was part of the episode that they did film that they didn't put out for us, but it was still something that they filmed. It that was still their intent. That was still the direction they were going. So I do think that Adam's going to be just fine. I don't think he's going to be written off. But I mean, I was clearly wrong about Will, so I don't know.
You were, yeah.
We'll get to that part. You can rub it in my face. I still stand by my statement, though.
I can't even rub that one in, though, because I'm not exactly super happy about it. So
I stand by my statement. Med's going to suffer.
We got to get through fire here before I can dive into that, because I won't.
So Ruzik's fate is uncertain, but kind of certain, I would say. I think that we're all pretty aware that he's going to be okay, given that. But I mean, of course, being in a hospital bed after surgery, having to report that everything's okay doesn't really mean a whole lot in Dick Wolf world. So,
on that note,
we're going to jump into fire.
That's how DeLuca died, by the way. DeLuca made it through surgery, and he was fine. He was fine. Just saying, he was fine.
We're going to move on from the uncertainty of one beloved character into another in Fire's finale. And they were especially cruel here in this finale because there was so much that was open-ended and it was dumb. It was just dumb.
It didn't have to be open-ended. It didn't have to be. We could have just not talked about it.
No, that's not how he rolls.
I don't know.
So we're gonna start with the easy, right? We're gonna start with something that's good about this. I mean, there was a lot good in this finale. It was a good episode, whatever. But just the endings, I'm not pleased with. And it's not because they're horribly written or horribly acted. It's because I want the answers and I want them right now.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm like Veruca from Charlie and Chocolate Factory. I want what I want. And I want it right now.
Right now. Yes, absolutely.
But Carver, he's clear, and this is what bothered me is I don't like how they wrote Carver this week. I don't.
No,
there were good parts to him, but specifically with Stella, I did not like how they wrote him at all.
Like we've already I don't feel like we have to show this pining for her. We already know that he has some sort of feelings for her, but he had pushed them aside.
Yeah, as was right.
Yeah,
let him be an upstanding good man.
Leave them aside until we know for sure that Taylor Kinney isn't coming back. And then if he's not, cool, then let's do it because they have great chemistry. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But then you've also got my girl Violet mixed in there, who likes him. And I guess I don't know what the point of teasing that was. I don't know what the point of it is.
And that was the first time in months that we saw Violet say that about him. Because even they had to have Brett say, I've seen how you've been looking at him lately. Nobody else has.
I didn't see it.
The last time we saw it was when he was fixing a light in her apartment.
It's 2 months ago. Yeah. It's unnecessary. I don't know. I don't even know why that storyline was even introduced.
No.
Unless we know if we weren't going to do it. We weren't going to actually have something happen before the season end. There was no point in even introducing that because we could have just introduced it next season when we have answers and are for sure what's going on with Stella and Severide.
Well, I think the initial intention was we want to set up avenues so it makes sense that, this Violet Carver thing isn't out of nowhere. But I think where they went wrong is they were showing us a lot of Violet and Carver while showing us Stella and Carver, which that was fine if they wanted to continue that so we could see them both build up a rapport with each other if you want to leave it open-ended for both. But then they suddenly just stopped all Violet Carver stuff just to bring it up in the finale. That felt way out of left field. and out of place. And having Carver instantly ask about Kelly and whether he's coming back, he's just very obsessively interested in if they're doing okay.
And then to look so disappointed after he found out that
was what irritated me.
It was just it was weird, I think. I think that whole, all of that could have just been left out this episode.
Exactly.
We could have focused on other things that were a little more important to get answers for. We should have left that out.
Yes. And it's not like, they have chemistry together. They're good together, but it's not like Stella has given him any indication of, I like you. I'd like to be with you. So for him to show disappointment that she's going to go get her husband and bring him back to Chicago, for him to be disappointed by that, just shows an extreme immaturity that I thought we had already gotten past.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't even like the storyline of her going to get Severide anyways, because
I kind of like that.
I don't, because, okay, let's say Taylor decides he's not coming back. It is going to hurt even more that she has went out there and then had to come back alone. I don't know. I don't care. I think we should have left the Severide story completely alone until we knew what he was doing.
Unless they know that he's coming back, or unless they know, okay, Taylor Kinney will come back to close out his character arc.
Then, in my opinion, because if they know he's coming back, officially, then there was no point for this Carver thing. So it's just, I don't know. I just wish we had just left it alone until he's back, or not back. You know what I mean? One or the other, a definite answer. I just wish we had left it alone. Because now it's going to be another Jay Halstead, I feel like, and I'm going to be upset about it because these guys are better than that.
Yeah, I'm going to be really upset if they do to him what they did to Jay,
because there isn't a reason for it. A little bit. I mean, Stella wouldn't be doing anything had Joe not gone poking around and found this out.
But again, on the other hand, she did that with Girls on Fire too, where she just stayed away for months and didn't contact Severide, didn't tell him what was going on, didn't tell him where she was going, how long it was. But I think that's where they think, well, no, we can get away with doing it this way because that's what she did to him. So maybe we won't get him to hate his character.
I guess.
It's not working, but I think that's what their thought is. That, well, we forgave Stella, so if he comes back, we'll forgive him too, which we will forgive him if he comes back. Because he'll have if he comes back, they're going to have a solid reason why it happened the way it happened. And even when she said he was vague on the phone, he said he's not sure when he'll come back. It happened so fast. And that's something Severide would have said. It happened so fast. But what we don't know is, well, did he just move over to there? Did he just get transferred over there? Has he been there for weeks? Has he been there for months? There's no information to give us. So we don't know how bad the situation actually is. Or how good it is. Maybe everyone's overreacting. We don't have anything. So I did like that she was going there to get them, there to get him, because it shows that she's putting everything into it. And I think that way, if he doesn't come back, I think it'll make it seem like, okay, see, her moving on with Carver will be easy peasy because she gave everything she got to Severide and it didn't work out. So now she's free to move on because she gave it her all and it was a no.
Yeah.
But I really hope that's not because I do want Severide to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing is though, I would hate to do that because I totally respect Taylor Kinney's decision to do what he did, how he did it. And he has every right to make it. I would hate to see them ruin his character because he made a personal decision that was best for him in the moment.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what they did to Jesse. I feel like Jesse just decided after 10 years, he didn't want to be that character anymore. And you all screwed him.
But I almost feel like Jesse kind of liked the way his story went. Especially since he stayed working on the show. I think he kind of liked that.
Well, that's weird too. Then Jesse's wrong. And I'm sorry, but I
mean, you look at the end of Divergent and they were totally okay with that stupid ending too.
I was gonna say, let's not go there because they were also wrong.
Yes.
And I would tell all of them, I would tell Theo James to his face that was wrong. You are wrong, sir.
Well, Shailene Woodley, she said, I kind of liked it that she died. Why?
Why
it
would
wasn't
you like
necessary.
It was terrible. No.
Did you know that I wrote a different ending to that?
You told me, but I've never gotten to read it. So
that's what I read now. Whenever I reread the books,
I will send it to me.
I will stop at a certain point and I will switch over to my reads. That's what I read now. Because it could have been possible. You didn't have to, and that's the same thing with this. You didn't have to do it this way. There are a million other ways that do not make us, we don't have to hate a character for them to go off the show. It's possible for characters to leave and we still like them.
It's also possible for a married couple to exist on the show, but we don't have to see the spouse.
Yes. Mouch and Trudy are married. Do we see them together very often? No. But Mouch talks about her all the time.
I mean, we never see Donna.
No,
she's out there.
So it was, it's dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there is another couple that things are looking up for.
This was exciting.
Yes.
This was the good part of this episode. I felt like
this was
not just because Dylan is finally out of the picture, like that.
I thought you'd like it if you got to talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? And Dylan, he was nice as he could be during this whole breakup. But I was like, cool. Yes. Thank you, sir. Like, you guys do not need to be together at all.
There is one thing I had an issue with in his speech. He said, I knew it. You told me you weren't ready for anything serious when we got together. I think having a baby is a pretty serious thing. It's not that she's not ready to be serious. It's that she's not ready to be with you.
Well, I think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying, like, you told me like you didn't want any kind of serious relationship. I should have believed you. Like,
but she wanted to have, like, she did say, and that was what I liked when she said to Casey, when she said, no, the baby's on me. Nothing to do with Dylan. It's on me.
But I mean, like, if she wanted to have a serious relationship with Dylan, you would have discussed the baby with him.
Yeah.
Before you. So
that's what I'm saying. She just didn't want anything to do with Dylan. I don't think it was anything that she didn't want a serious relationship. She wasn't ready for anything serious. So that she didn't want to be serious with him.
Which we all knew. Like, of course.
And Matt's face when he asked her if Dylan was a part of the baby thing, he was so worried that she was going to say yes.
I loved it. I have to admit, I was really like, Nat was really cute this whole episode.
I agree.
How he like just reacted to everything.
I enjoyed having Matt Casey back in this episode.
Yeah. I like, he needs, like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to like, what we're going to do with that. But I liked how like even all of them going to talk to Amber, I thought was like this is a Casey kind of thing to do. Like, this is like just going and like supporting her and like gonna like try to make this. And at first I thought it was gonna end badly though. Like, I was like, oh, no, what if this goes the other direction? Yep. She's gonna be like, she's never gonna forgive you guys. But thankfully, it worked out. And I kind of already, I don't know if I saw an image or if I like just read something, but I was pretty sure I kind of knew he was going to propose to her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did we see that in a preview? Did I know that?
I don't know, but I think I just assumed that he was.
Were we just speculating? Maybe we were just speculating.
That just seemed like the only logical step for it to go.
Yeah. I mean, I was still very excited. Like, don't get me wrong, even though I knew. And I mean, I'm happy, like, but now I want to know, like, what else happens? Like, she's going to get the baby. Great. Like, is Matt coming back to Chicago and they're going to raise a baby? Or is Sylvia and the baby going to Seattle?
That's what I think.
I think so too, which, I mean, did you see what Eve sent? Was it Eve that sent it or did I send it? I can't remember.
Seattle. Seattle.
One Seattle. Let's do it, right? I mean, if we're going to have like Sylvia and like Matt and Will and Natalie.
And I did like watching Casey perk up when he heard of the breakup, because we see it in the beginning where he's hesitant to ask her, but then he's like, ooh, they broke up. And I don't know, it was nice. It was cute. It was sweet.
Yeah.
And then of course, when Amber calls and is like, I'll give you the guardian rights. It just, how overjoyed Brett was made me genuinely emotional for her.
Yeah.
I got a little choked up when she was that excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was a little nervous there though, that Matt was gonna be like, good job, and then just leave.
Oh, I kind of know. I knew. I was like, something's gonna happen here, like, for sure. Like, we're gonna do this. And I'm really glad, because like that piece of the episode was the only thing that like makes it nice in comparison to like everything that's going on with like Herman and Mouch and like that palm reader lady. Maureen, as soon as like, I don't know, I just knew. I knew when she read that, like when she told him that fortune, I knew that it didn't mean anything physical pain to him. I my head, I knew, ooh, somebody else is in danger.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think Cindy, because I was like, no, we've already messed with Cindy enough. So like, it's not going to be her. Like, we're going to be good. I mean, Mouch popped in my head. Bowden, Bowden was in my head a lot. Like, I more so thought Bowden for some reason, because he was at that scene, and I just, I don't know. I was really nervous for him.
I thought it was going to be someone on Herman's engine.
Ritter, like all these people.
That's who I was thinking. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't once think of Mouch, but I knew. I even think I put in the chat, if they even consider messing with Herman, like I just that happened at the top of the episode, and they're not going to put something in there like that and not follow through with the threat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That the whole episode, I couldn't think about anything else anytime Herman was on screen other than what's going to happen.
Same.
And then I got faked out, but I don't want to go into that yet, because I want to say something that Herman said, because they were teasing him about giving into this and believing this psychic because it's all nonsense. And I firmly believe that stuff is nonsense too, but he did too. And what he said was, with the years Cindy and I have had, it's not hard for the bad thoughts to creep in.
Yeah.
And the way he said that was it was like a sucker punch to the gut. And it was so true, but he was being so vulnerable with them. And it made me all the more nervous for how bad this pain was going to be.
Well, and I mean, like, I think it's nonsense too. Like in my head, like, I don't know. I get really weird about all this kind of stuff, but like, I don't actually believe you can look at the palm of my hand and like know what's going to happen. Okay. Like tarot cards, maybe, I don't know. But like, it doesn't matter, because if someone says that,
exactly,
it's how can you not think about it? Like, even if you truly believe this is not true,
words have power. You're
going to be worried. So
that stupid nursery rhyme we learned of kids, that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a lie.
Words hurt you worse most of the time.
They take much longer to go away than the bruises
that healing, do. A physical wound heals pretty quickly. Okay, emotional ones take a lot longer.
So much longer. And then when Ritter and Gallo, I love on her website, like, oh, Herman, you can't believe it. Look at that font.
I'm really surprised because like Ritter, I get he's always the like one that's like, no, like we're gonna be logical about this. I'm really surprised that Gallo wasn't buying into it, because he strikes me as the kind that like would totally buy into like a palm reader.
But I think it has to have a certain appearance and look a certain way.
I don't know. He's just gullible. I just really thought he would believe it. Like Ritter, I knew would be like, no, like this isn't true. Like, but then when she went to him and like tried to get him to pay $75. Look, lady, one, he saved your life.
Yes.
You can't just randomly throw him this piece of information that he didn't even ask for and then not want to elaborate.
Yeah. And then the guy sitting on the couch when he walked out, what did he say?
Oh, I don't remember.
Smart move. She'll tell you anything if you pay her enough money or something like that.
Yep. That's what he said. Oh my gosh.
So this, I like that he said, because when he hurt his finger, like, oh, that's it. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. This Mouch thing caught me completely off guard. And because I watched Fire first, this is the one where I shot right out of my bed. And I was almost like rocking when he saw blood. I don't know why he wasn't in my head. I don't know why. I think I kind of view Herman and Mouch as untouchable because I don't know why, but I do. I shouldn't, but I do.
No one is untouchable. And that's the thing you've got to understand, Maureen. With this and with Shondaland, no one is untouchable. This is why, see, me and even Amanda, we are like pros at this, because we understand that. I know that's Shonda Rhimes, but like no one's untouchable on these shows. We're scarred.
It's the worst. And I was so hyper focused on Herman and his environment, looking around him, that I lost sight of Mouch for a minute. And then it just, oh no.
I knew, like I said, I
didn't think it was going to be Herman. I thought it was going to be done around. So whenever he was on screen, I was looking at his surroundings, trying to figure out which one of his team was going to get hit.
Yeah. And then, like, I mean, with the bullets and all that, I mean,
that irritated me too.
When that was like, when those started going off, like I did know, I had a feeling, I was like, okay, this is where it's going to happen. But honestly, I thought it was Bowden, because Bowden was there.
Yeah.
And I just really thought, I don't know, in my head I was thinking too, like, I don't know how we get Casey back. I don't know. All these like things are going through my head. I'm like,
Oh
is Bowden
yeah.
gonna die? Like, I didn't know I was really upset about that. And Bowden's not even my favorite character, but I was like, oh my God.
But you love Bowden. The thing that drove me crazy about the bullets in the first place when they first found them, what a wasted opportunity to not connect the two shows. That was my thought.
Yes. Same.
I mean, it seemed like a pointless plot line the way they did it.
It was just to shoot Mouch.
Mm-hmm. Which is infuriating.
That's all it was.
Just to shoot Mouch and a reason to bring Matt Casey back. Why not make Brett the reason Matt Casey comes back?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to have a bullet to bring them together. It was stupid. I thought that was a poorly written plot line. I was kind of disappointed with that. And
no, absolutely.
They didn't tie them to anything, did they really? The people who did it?
No. Just trying to take out power sources, like, I don't know.
Because it didn't make a whole lot of sense. No, I didn't. No. I didn't understand it very well. I think the only thing they really said was the power grid thing, and then they said the plates were from Seattle and Minnesota, and they found the car somewhere else, and it was so dumb. And it was really the small amount of information they gave us and the way that they filmed it and cut it together. It genuinely was just so that Mouch could get hurt. Like there's no other reason. It was so dumb.
It was. And I mean, like so like this one was the fake out, and this was like the thing. This was another, we're talking about, like fake outs. Like I mentioned DeLuca, this is what happens. Like Mouch is good. Like he's in the hospital. He's recovering. All is well. Trudy's probably went downstairs to check on Kim because I'm assuming she was there. Because I thought like that's why that was weird. That popped in my head tonight. Because I remember watching thinking, why is Trudy not there? Like, I don't care what's going on with PD. Like she would be there. I think she's probably went downstairs to probably check on Kim because Adam's in surgery.
That makes sense. I didn't think about that until we were just talking about it earlier.
Yeah. And I mean, that's terrible because then he starts like bleeding out there. Like, and that's how you're going to leave us? Like, are you kidding me?
I can still hear the sound of Herman's voice screaming for help.
Mm-hmm.
It just, and I knew something was off the way Mouch was talking because he was really ragged breathing, but the blood was coming from his back or his side, but his backside.
See, I don't know enough because like last season was the first time that I was officially caught up.
Mm-hmm.
So like, have we ever like gone off like on a season when we come back, the person's died? Like I know Otis was in like a season premiere, like, but I don't think it started on the season finale. Maybe they got the call. Actually,
it did. The season finale was Otis in the building,
but he hadn't died. So we have
That's where they left us. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay.
I know. And not only is that going to mess with, I mean, we've talked about this. We understand that at some point Mouch and Herman are going to have to stop being firefighters. Like we get it. All right.
I don't want them
to die.
Like they need to go retire and like Trudy and Mouch
die in blazes of glory, because not only is this going to hurt, I mean, it's going to wreck me if Mouch dies. Like I will be wrecked, but it will also wreck Trudy. Like
this will affect everyone on like across, like on 2 of our shows. It will affect everyone.
Everybody in PD is going to be affected by Mouch's death. The only Med, maybe not so much because they don't see a whole lot of them over there. They're still affected because it's one of the city's workers dies, but it's going to destroy people on PD and Med. I don't know. No. And
it can't happen.
I did put in I was naive. I was naive because I was like, oh, great. They're going to just bypass it. When Bowden came in and said he's fine, I remember putting in the chat, well, that was mean, because I was like, why make me freak out about Mouch and just have it be okay? And I got completely blindsided again at the end of the episode because, again, I've never watched this live before. This is my first year watching all of them live. When Otis died, it didn't really seem like it was a cliffhanger because I watched them in quick succession.
Right.
So I was not prepared for that.
This is the first time I've been stressed because even last season when we had like Stella and Severide like kind of in danger or whatever, like I didn't actually believe anything when they happened either one of them. So like I was good. I don't know if something will happen to Mouch.
Exactly.
They could decide to go ahead and take him out at this point.
No,
It's
I'm gonna be
possible.
so mad. Because that was a lot of blood.
Especially since like we've seen the picture of like Ruzek is good. So like it puts, I think, a little bit more pressure on the situation with Mouch of if they're gonna like take some, you know what I mean? Like if they're gonna do something tragic.
Yeah.
Like I hope not. I mean, we lost a person in Med. So
Mhm.
hopefully that was enough.
I don't know. Do they usually do more than one or no?
Well, I think it's, who knows? I think there's no rules.
Dick Wolf is a maverick who plays
There's
by
no
his own
rules.
set of standards.
Because you would think that we're good because we already lost like Jesse Lee Soffer. We've
Mhm.
already
Oh, that's
lost
right.
like Evan.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh
We
my gosh, those were both this season.
maybe
It
have
felt like so long ago.
we might have lost Taylor Kinney. We don't know yet. So we
One
lost
per
Brian
show
T.
per year is
Brian T's
plenty.
gone. Like, so it really, we don't know. We don't know.
But at least Brian T and Nick Gelfus didn't die.
Well, neither did, no one else.
Jesse didn't die either.
Only Hawkins has died.
Oh
I know that's
man,
awful. Like,
that
only
doesn't
one has
set a good
died.
precedent. Only the people on Fire have died.
Fire's the one that likes to kill people.
Well, that's where Fire leaves us. I'd like to say there's no way they're going to kill Mouch, but this is one where I'm not confident at all in that statement. Not even a little confident that they won't kill Mouch.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
heard anything, so
I was just gonna
don't
say I didn't hear one way or the other if that actor if Christian wants to leave the show or not. I
No.
don't know. But I would be very sad if this is how they chose to leave him. Stop ruining our characters. Just for the love of God, let somebody leave other than Will on good terms and happily.
Med is the only one of the shows that will do that for us. Like the other
Why?
ones, they care more about their characters. I don't
People
know.
who put their lives on the line every day not deserve happy endings
And
for
maybe,
happy
like,
stories?
Maybe that makes sense. Okay, like to play devil's advocate, maybe that makes sense. That, I mean, I feel like a lot of times when you have firefighters and cops, like they don't leave their place of work like until they retire or something happens. Like I feel like doctors might move around and change jobs, move to other cities more likely.
That's a good point.
I don't know. I'm trying to help them out. Like,
no, that's
and
accurate,
their jobs aren't as dangerous. So the idea that they would die in the line of duty, probably not going to happen.
I don't like it. Then make them unlikable from the start so we aren't completely broken when you kill them off, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Write them more poorly or just really hateful. That's my request for next year. If you desire to continue to kill people off of our shows, do not make them likable.
Yeah, because we'll love that too.
I mean, if anyone on PD goes, I'm screwed. Anyone at all. Pick any one of them. I'm screwed if they die.
Haley's, and I hate to say that, but Haley's the only one.
I would still be sad if Haley died.
I would be sad, but I don't think it would wreck me.
No, because I didn't like her until the start of this season.
And I'm not sure that Dante would wreck me.
Oh, Dante would wreck me.
But it won't take long till it would wreck me.
Dante would wreck me.
Like you've got like maybe like half a season more, and then it's gonna wreck me too.
And you gotta know that Hank's gonna die. They're not gonna let Hank retire. Like Hank is gonna, after all, Hank did, like they're gonna make his death horrible.
Oh yeah.
I just made myself really sad.
Let's just end the show before that happens. And I hate to say that too, because I want these shows to go on forever and ever and ever. But
I mean, at least in PD, they can act for a long time. I mean, and I hate to keep going back to it, but SVU is in like what, season 5,000?
Oh, it's like 20 something.
It's 25, I think.
Yeah.
So
if Olivia Benson can keep going,
yes.
so can Hank Boyd.
Anyway, wow. We're going to dive into happier territory. We don't know where Mouch is left off. We're not we can't say for certain what Adam's fate is. But in Med, we at least have some certainties. We at least have some things that we know about. Some, obviously, they tried to make us, I'm not even that afraid of the cliffhanger they left us with.
No, because I think the cliffhanger they left us with will make for a very interesting story.
Exactly.
Week. So I'm excited for it.
And they're either going to end the entire show or it's going to get fixed.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
because my cliffhanger, I was wrong in that nothing so far has happened with the Archer. I thought that was going to be our cliffhanger. I am thankfully glad that I was
Yes.
wrong about that.
Yeah.
I'm still a little not. I'm still a little bummed at how that storyline is worked out.
Yeah.
Just because of where Sean is right now, where Sean is just. I mean, okay. First, happy that he did relapse. Happy he did not OD, and like
Yeah.
they found him. He's in the hospital. He's well,
And
and
they
I
said it
think
was alcohol, didn't they?
and benzos and
Oh, they did
benzos.
say that.
Yeah.
Should I miss that?
Yeah, he is alcohol and benzos, but I think they did a tox screen, and Hannah reported that there was nothing else in his system. So I mean, not that that's like, but I mean, it's just those, and I feel like those are like they're confident they can tackle this, and then it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
The problem is, I mean, I felt so bad when he was like had no idea that he was not going to be able to donate now that he's done this. I mean, imagine the guilt you would feel on that. Just absolutely wrecked. And they didn't want to tell him, and I don't blame them for not wanting to tell him. Okay, so his the little conversation though about the relationship stuff, a little awkward, I think. I'm not sure I liked how that played out.
No, that was weird.
Um, I mean, I guess I'm glad he got it out there, but like, I don't know how to take Hannah's response because she was so no, like not even a little bit. And I'm like, okay, well, you say that, but like, I've seen this millions of times on shows before. Like, are you saying that because like you honestly don't think of him like that? Or are you saying that because you're denying it? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, because I honestly couldn't read it.
But even his Dean, he was like, okay, you don't need to go that hard. So there is a little something.
Yeah, well, I thought it was more. Actually, I don't know that I thought that there was anything there. I thought it was just Dean being his egotistical self. Like, okay, you don't need to go that hard. Like, I took it as more of like a funny like moment, and he was like, okay, we'll just rein it in. No need to like make it that. It's not like it's that bad kind of thing. I wish she'd said something more to along the lines, because I still like was hoping more for her and Sean. I wish she had turned him down more in the way of, we can't do this because you are in recovery, I'm in recovery, it just would not be a good idea. Instead of just making him feel like she doesn't feel that way for him, because I don't know that that's the truth, but I don't think she's thought about either one of them romantically. I really want to stand by this. Now, the problem is, now that it's out there, I'm afraid that her and Dean are both going to now think about it. I think more so on her part, because I really think because his no felt more convincing. Like, no, you got the wrong idea. Like, whereas, like you said, then he came back with, okay, well, you don't have to go so hard here. Like, like I'm not that terrible. Hers felt more like that whole, like, trying too hard to say no, but we'll see. The other thing though, that like on top of all of that, dealing with, the fact that Sean can't, donate anymore and everything, the patient that Dean had was really, really sad. I felt, and I mean, is that really the case? Like, I don't know enough about insurance and all of this, but like, so really, because she's there though, and she needs the surgery. So you're telling me that if she can't agree to pay for it, like, you're going to make her leave when it seems like it's an actual official emergency type situation?
No, I think I don't think that they were going to make her leave because she couldn't pay. I think it was that they knew that she would be paying out of pocket, and she had expressed in some way, shape, or form to Maggie that she couldn't pay that because somehow Maggie knew, and she said she can't afford that. So they would perform the surgery and they would just bury you in medical debt.
I hate that. I just hate. I don't know what the fix to that problem is. Like, that's one of my soapboxes that I just don't. If you need medical care, like, you should be able to just get it.
And I think the problem is because it's a private hospital now, it's a for-profit hospital. That's why they say, well, if you can't afford to pay, then you can't go. But like in most hospitals, they have financial aid programs that you can go to if you don't have the insurance or if you don't have the money, even after so and I don't think our hospital is a for-profit hospital. It's a public hospital. So they have those programs available.
I don't know. I think no hospital should be for profit. That's just my thing. I don't see
Oh,
how
I
that
agree
works
with you.
in my head.
It's
Like,
because if it's something, healthcare is a right. Like you have a right to be
yes.
healthy. You have a right to be seen by a doctor
Yes.
and to be treated. And that's most hospitals will say, if you don't have insurance, we still treat you. We still will see
Yeah.
you. But when you turn it to for profit, it completely takes away. And that's what Sharon's been saying all along.
Yes.
Patient care is what is supposed to matter in a hospital.
Yeah.
And this patient, I felt so bad for because the amount of pain and the way it elevated,
Mhm.
but for them to do it off book is super dangerous too.
Yeah.
It's not just dangerous for their jobs. It's dangerous for the patient to do this off book.
Yeah. And this is what they're having to do in order,
Mhm.
like, I mean, that's terrible. They're doing it in a room, not
Yeah.
even in like an exam, like a surgery room. So, and I knew as soon as he asked Hannah to help him out, I was like, oh God. Of course, I think we'd seen a little bit in the previews that something
Yeah.
was going to happen with him.
Mhm.
I didn't quite expect it to like him to like fully like, I mean, her have to completely take over the surgery. I thought something was going to happen like after the surgery. So I
See,
got a
I
little
thought it
nervous.
was less intense than they played it out to be.
Yeah.
Because in the preview, when he like sort of falls, I thought like
Mhm.
just going off the preview, I thought in the preview he was like passing out or falling to the ground
Yeah.
because someone yelled Dean, but all he did was step away and then he sat. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so that's
It's true. That's true.
you made that a whole lot worse than it needed to be. Here,
They
people.
always do. They always do. They want us to worry. They want us to worry.
So with Dean, the reason he had to sit down was because it was another infection, and this is when they have to tell
Yeah.
Sean. And how sad did he look when they
So
told
sad.
him?
So sad. I loved how like sweet Dean was about it. He was like, "Don't worry, we got this. We're gonna make it through." All he's like, he had been
6
so
months is
adamant
nothing.
that he didn't want to go on that other kind of dialysis. But as soon as Sean was sad, he's like, "It's fine. I'm just gonna take it. I'm just gonna do it. And we're gonna be fine. And everything is good." So that was really, I don't know. That made me like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But hopefully we're wrong, and hopefully since that's not going to happen until sometime next season, that was the worst of like the kidney donating disaster.
Wouldn't it be horrible if it was like a prophetic sort of thing of the writer's strike being 6 months?
I mean, I'm really hoping this writer strike doesn't mess with stuff, but we know how it affected stuff last time, or I still
know.
remember. So
Oh yeah,
we'll see.
I wasn't even watching it live, and I remember how it
Mhm.
screwed stuff up. It was a
Yes.
big deal. But if it was 6 months, that would be June, July, August. That'd be November. We wouldn't have any writing until November. So they wouldn't even
That's
be
why
able to film until like beginning of December. So would we even have anything by January?
I don't know. I mean, I know ABC has said their shows like they're saying January as of right now on most of their shows.
Yeah.
So,
Which includes 911, right?
yep. 911 and yeah. So,
Are they going to have the same writers on
um,
911, even though they switch networks?
I honestly don't know.
Because I don't know if the showrunners change when they do that, or if it just moves to another network, same people.
I honestly don't know.
That's weird that they did that though. Like why? It's the same company that does both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know. I agree. So that like the relationship like with Sean and Dean, that's not the only relationship that seemed to be in trouble last week. We remember that Charles and Liliana had some issues, and that kind of carried over a little bit, but we did get, I guess, some resolution too this week. So
yeah, and I did like that Charles and Sharon had a heart-to-heart about Liliana, and he was obviously questioning why he didn't ask her sooner, which made me sad because we know that there's not a bone in Dr. Charles's body that would treat someone poorly. And I know that he's only human, but he's usually very aware of things that are happening. Why? Obviously, you're your own worst critic and you're your own worst patient, right? So, I mean, maybe he didn't really pick it up on himself, but I liked seeing that heart to heart with him and Sharon.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I liked that. I like that Sharon too was also in that discussion, was kind of like, I see definitely why she might feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know you well enough to know that that's not the case.
Yeah.
So like she was kind of able to kind of, because we know Dr. Charles was pretty upset that Liliana can even, and so Sharon, I think, kind of coming back and saying like, well, I do see her perspective on this and why this might be happening, kind of allowed him to also probably see that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, like, I mean, always, I love how the show, there's always like their patience. Like you've said this before, like teaches them about stuff.
Mhm.
And this was the craziest, like, patient. Like, he literally like took the wheel from his wife and tried to, like, I mean, to the point she thought they were trying to kill them.
Mhm.
Crazy.
How did you think that was going to play out? Because I kind of thought that we've had a storyline on Med like this before, where it was
Yeah.
like the husband was an abuser and was like, well, no one can have you then, or if I can't have you, no one can have you.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was that necessarily, but I did think it was interesting that that Dr. Johnson,
Yeah. Which
we've seen him on here before.
we have. He came in with that girl on the farm, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I think we said that time, why did we focus so heavily on him?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like he's my wheel replacement, which
he's going to be.
As far as wheel replacements go, he's not a bad one to have. I will go ahead and say this.
Dude.
He's very good looking and seems like a nice guy, willing to fight for his patients. So, like, okay.
And it was at this point when he was talking about them, and Maggie said, oh, so we're going to be seeing a whole lot more of you. And I thought, oh, crap, Will's leaving. It was at that moment when I realized that he was going to go, because that was too obvious of a line to throw in there to not have him. Someone's got to go for him to become a more of a presence.
I didn't think
doctor.
so.
I did.
I mean, I know last week I said I thought Will was leaving, but this week I was just denying it until it happened.
Yeah, I realized in that moment. But he's the one who said, I don't buy it that the husband would have done this. So either the wife was lying or something else is going on, because he's the one who defended them and said, no. Yeah. I've known them for years. That's not who they are. And I think it was really interesting how they played it out and how big the misunderstandings were between them, because neither one of them wanted to bother the other one.
Yeah.
You're a partnership.
Yeah.
And in a partnership, you discuss things. In a partnership, you talk about things that are real.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I thought it was a really dumb storyline, other than it got Liliana and Charles to have
that was the only purpose.
Which I liked. And I liked that they both like admitted like that they like
loved
each other, right? Yeah. I was like, that was sweet. But the brother's still in the picture though. So like I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
Liliana sort of told him off at the end there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I think because I think she was operating under the misperception that Charles was ashamed of her. And that's because her brother's in her ear saying he's ashamed of you. And she's known her brother longer, and he knows how to manipulate her. So he was doing that. And I think that Charles picked up on that. So in the heart to heart they had, he was smart enough to recognize that and speak to that when he said, honestly, I feel like I'm too good. You're too good for me.
Yeah.
And so they actually talked about all the things that were bothering them in their relationship. And Liliana had more than one thing. Yeah. I mean, it was boiled down to that one basic point, but.
And do we think like, I mean, what's going to happen with the brother going forward though? Because like,
I don't think he serves on any other purpose.
Well, then I don't know why that was necessary. Like, I feel like we could have gotten to the same result without that drama.
I think it was the easiest way to bring that drama in though. But I think that's his nefarious thing, is that he was speaking to Liliana. And I think part of it was, I think he'll play a role in that his words will still affect Liliana, but I don't think we'll be seeing much of him anymore. Yeah, but obviously I don't know how to read Med as well as you do or anybody else. So
well, I mean, I guess, look, the whole Will stuff was not one that I wanted to be right about. It was not one that I wanted to be right about. I think I was still in disbelief too about it all. I don't know.
I was a little surprised how it played out, but I knew he was leaving. I didn't expect him to go to well, honestly, because I don't like Natalie. I forgot she went to Seattle, so that was not even on my radar.
I was thrilled about, honestly, like, but here's what I will say, okay? Like, I mean, I was watching Sunny. I was watching it on my phone because it was like, I don't know, because I started it when
I don't know how you can do that.
Sometimes I have to, like if I was especially watching live, like I have to put Shelby to bed at 8:00. So like if I'm gonna watch this, like I'm gonna go in there and like hang out with her while I've got it on my phone. So I just continued watching it on my phone, and I got to that part, and I like was like, oh no. And then I got the earbuds in, and both David and Elena were like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. I said, I'm happy. And they're like, you're happy? I'm like, well, I'm happy and I'm sad. And they were just like, what is happening right now? So then I did tell them, because Elena, who is only on season 1 of Med, like Will's her guy. And I was like, Will's leaving, Elena. You know, like, so I had to explain it to her. One, love that he's with Natalie. Okay, we've already talked about this. This was a beautiful moment. I know that's at the end of the episode, but I'm talking about it right now. When as soon as, of course, I knew where she was. So as soon as it said like "Welcome to Seattle" or whatever, it's like, oh yes, he's with
I
Natalie.
didn't.
And then Owen ran up and all of that. And but like I wasn't sure like what does this mean though? So like throwing in the line of her saying like I'm never gonna let you go. I was like, cool. Like you've like made this like official for me that they're
Yeah.
having.
Oh yeah.
And like not only that, I mean, if I have to lose Will, the way that he went out, it's the best way possible, I think. Because not only did he end up with the love of his life, which he has never been like, I don't know, it's not been the same since Natalie left him. Like his character has not been the same. Whether you like them together or not, I think you almost have to admit he's lost some purpose since she's gone.
I agree.
But he also went out in Will fashion. I mean, he went out being a rebel and a renegade to try to like save these people here at the hospital. I'm like, so he got to pull one more Will like stunt on his way out. So, I mean, I couldn't have written a better exit for him, I don't think.
Although my one question is, did Will set Med on fire and then get to walk away while it burns?
Maybe, but like again, that's still Will fashion. Like he tends to like when he does these things, like they may be wrong, but they're with the best intentions, and that's who he is. And so, and he protected Grace along the way because I mean, I loved how Sharon told him like, what'd she say? I don't think you had the.
She said, "There's not a doubt in my mind that you do not have the technical capabilities to pull this off."
Basically, she said, "You
like
are not smart enough to do this by yourself, Will." I mean, that's basically what she said, which.
Technically, she said in technology, he's not tech smart.
Well, he's not
tech smart enough to pull it off.
He's not. And so like,
but this was Will's idea. He just went to song with it.
Yeah. And it redeemed her in my eyes too, that she did do this with him. And like,
so because like, we discussed last week that what we liked about her was that when she saw something wrong, she was going to fight to make it right. And she was going to dig to the bottom of it, no matter who it was that it affected. And she saw that Jack Dayton deleted data, but she also saw he was hiding from the public data that was dangerous. I wasn't really sure how it was going to play out, but the moment it messed up and then they panned over to Will didn't even make a face. I was like, oh no, what did he do? And Saul looked up at him and he nodded. I was like, oh crap.
I love how Sharon knew, like even like she just kept looking. I mean, and I don't think she was mad about. I mean, she wasn't mad about. She was mad. I don't think she was fully mad. Like I think she was like, it's obviously left him with a problem. But like when he went to her first, he tried to get in. Like she's like, I have no authority to do anything. And he's right. Here's the thing. Like, what else was he supposed to do? There were no other options at this point. And even Crockett, like, why didn't you come to me? Well, because you just said it yourself, Crockett. You wouldn't have went along with it. And we know you wouldn't have went along with it. So what's the point in telling you? There's no point in telling you. It is what it is.
And there was that scene in Sharon's office when he looked at her and said, I really hate what this hospital's become. And the way he said it, and Sharon turned and looked at him like, what did you just say? That was when I was like, uh-oh.
That was the moment I knew. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
He's going. For real, he's going. And I mean, I did see an article though. Like this one was Nick's choice to leave. Evidently he spoke to Dick Wolf like himself, like back in like January or February or something. And I think, actually, hold on, I have the article because I wanted to say exactly what he said. Nick Gelfus discussed his decision to leave. The actor cited a realization that he had taken the character of Halstead as far as he felt he could go and didn't want to run the risk of making things stale. I think it's just I feel like we've all said it he has been sort of written in circles for the past few seasons, no progression. Since Natalie left, he has had no progression whatsoever. And I think he's finally like, I don't want to keep doing this. So I can't fault him for that. He did say, though, let's see. When asked whether he'd consider coming back for the occasional cameo, Gelfus was all for it. He even revealed that the idea of bringing the character back once in a while was something that he discussed with the show writers. So maybe we haven't seen the last of Will, which is nice. And this is the kind of like these are the exits we want, because that does allow for them to come back and still like us be happy to see them, even if they're not going to like stick around. So I can't be too upset with this. I mean, I can, because we know he's my guy and it's going to be hard to watch without him, but I don't know. I think it'll be all right. As far as, I don't know what'll happen with the hospital, because like you said, did he like light the place on fire and walk away? Maybe. Because just like Jack said, you know, like he's going to probably have to put the hospital up for sale. And I don't know what that means. I will say I think that'll be an interesting storyline. So, I mean, something we haven't seen on Ned before. Like I know we've seen it. I feel like the Resident. Hopefully we don't repeat, because that was like terrible on there. But I don't know. I feel like Chicago Med could pull it off in a good way, like something new here. Like, because we have to get them back somehow to being like, we have to get back to what we were. And maybe this is somehow a stepping stone to making that happen. Or if we're going to be for profit, we get someone to buy the hospital that actually like is going to care about the well-being of their patients.
But can that happen with a for-profit hospital?
I don't know.
And I think that with Jack Dayton, the problem there is that he had an idea that, you know, 2.0 would be this amazing thing, this great thing, tech would be in there. If someone were to buy this hospital, I think it would be along the same lines of Jack Dayton of, well,
Yeah,
he started this
possibly.
tech, now I can finish it kind of thing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And especially, I mean, you're going to have an awful lot of money to buy that hospital.
That's true.
So I don't know. I think the only other way is to make it go back to public, but I don't even know how that works. I don't remember how that happened in the Resident, because it went from, did it go from private to public or public to private in the Resident?
It went from private to public.
That's right.
But that was where, like, in the Resident, that was the problem there, because they were funding cut by 3%, right? Or whatever it was, like
33%.
Yeah. So that was a problem. There's no way you forgot about that. How could you forget?
No, they reminded me an awful lot. And I think too with Jack, you see I don't think we're done with Jack yet either, because we see in the beginning, I mean, Will and Song and Crockett, they all tell Jack, and Jack says, thank you. But he's not sincere.
Yeah.
And then he wants to go through the surgery anyway. So I think with this, I don't think it's an empty threat to sell Med, but I think he was way too cavalier about losing a fortune.
Yeah.
I think it puts a better understanding of why he was pushing so hard for 2.0 and for this platform to be released, because all of his money was in that basket. But maybe the solution here is that someone is going to help him rebuild 2.0 rather than sell the hospital, because I don't think Jack is fully gone. I don't know. I feel like he was such an equal mix of good and bad.
Yeah. And maybe that's what, maybe Crockett will be able to make that happen too, because like Will said, like, you know, that's what, you know, you're still here, 2.0 still here, go fix it. Yeah. And so maybe that's where that comes in. Somehow Crockett will convince Dayton to not sell and let, you know, their conversation. I know. But I'm so mad that I just said last week, like, oh, look, they finally get to be friends.
And Crockett was mad that he resigned too, because his friend was leaving.
His little exit was so sweet, though. When Dr. Charles went up and hugged him, I was like, oh. The one thing that did bother me is I feel like there should have, I understand that Hannah had a lot to worry about with Dean, but Will was also really important to you, and Will was really important to your recovery and things. Like, I feel like there should have been some sort of goodbye scene with those two. Like something, even just a short little, it should have been maybe her that gave the hug, or just anything. Yeah. To show a little emotion there, I think.
I know that they all gave him a standing ovation, but I did want to see our big players give him an embrace.
Just to, like, you know, like a couple words. Like we had a moment with Sharon. I think that's fine. Because I liked how her little speech to him about how, like, you know, I have no choice, but I can't forget what she said, but it was expressed fully how much she was going to miss him, which I think meant a lot considering how many times like they had to butt heads over stuff, so, and I mean, Maggie kind of yelled at him for like, I feel like what we were missing, I think it was just Hannah was the only person that I felt like we were really missing. And even if she just went up and said like, you're going to be missed, and just one little anything, or tell,
Or
like,
even like go get her or something like that.
tell Natalie we said hello, like anything to just like, because they were, I mean, other than Natalie, that was kind of his big like relationship. So I don't know.
I agree. So I was wrong. They did take Will. But two things about that though. The show writers did not be like, hey, we're done. It was Nick.
Yeah.
But also I do stand by the statement that I think Med is going to take a hit without Will.
I think they will. Although I do like this other doctor. I think he has a lot of potential.
That's it. It's potential right now. They haven't, I don't think, if they knew back in January, I think they should have been piecing this guy into episodes more often than they did.
Probably.
But we got him that one time. And then again today, or not today, the finale, and Maggie said, so we're going to be seeing a lot of you now.
We instantly loved him though. Like, even remember, he stood out to us in the first episode. So I think it'll be all right. I don't know though.
I think there's going to be a lot of people that won't give it a chance without Will.
It's going to be hard. I will follow Nick Gelfus wherever he goes next. He is one of those actors that I love, and I think it will be interesting to potentially see him do something else, because I have not seen him do anything else other than he had a character on Shameless, which very not Will like. Interesting, but not Will like at all. So I've never seen him do anything else.
I'm obviously going to give it a chance without Will.
Yeah.
I'm really sad to see Will go. I'm really glad that Will is happy. And I will say though, and I know that we only got a glimpse, Natalie did seem like a different person. She didn't seem uptight. She seemed more ease. She seemed like a better character when we saw her again.
I mean, I'm rooting for, like, I mean, did you see Amanda like joked and said they're gonna, like, we'll see him again at Gray Sloan? I mean, are they hiring? Although I don't know if we wish them to like into Gray Sloan, because that just puts them in all kinds of danger. So maybe we just leave them alone.
To leave Dick Wolf and Shondaland is not the trajectory.
No, that's probably worse. That's probably worse if we're being honest. Let's not do that.
No, but Nick Gelfus, we would love to talk with you and find out what your next project is, because I really didn't like, I've watched a lot of interviews with him. I've watched a lot of their team things that group interviews that they've done together. I really, really like Nick Gelfus. I think he's funny. I think he's smart and he's witty. Yeah. And he seems like a delightful human being. And I think that comes across on screen. So I'm with you. I would watch what he's in.
Yes.
I'm not going to give up on Med because he's on it, but I think a lot of people will.
Well, you know what? If people can keep going on PD without Jesse, you can keep going on Med without.
Yeah, but Will has been I suppose Jesse's been been on PD since
Jesse
the beginning.
was never, Jay
longer.
Halstead was not our favorite, but I'm telling you, in the rest of the fandom, he basically was. So
Was he really?
He really was. Yeah. Way more than Adam. Like, he's got a bigger fan base. Yeah. I mean, they're wrong, obviously.
I mean, I love Jesse Leeshoffer. I do. I love Jay more than Adam.
But if Taylor Kinney doesn't come back and we lost Nick Gelfus,
that's what I'm saying.
That's one Chicago taking a huge hit.
So Jay Halstead, Will Halstead, and Kelly Severide.
And if obviously we had Jesse Spencer come back, but I think he's going to take Brett with him, not the other way around.
I do too. Because what he proposed, which we didn't talk about, he said, will you make me and 3 kids the happiest of families, or something along those lines. The other 2 are in Seattle still.
Yeah. I like the idea. Let's just have a one Seattle.
Do you think that they could be doing that?
I mean, I don't actually think so, but I think it would be cool if they did.
I mean, here's the thing though. Dick Wolf has shows in New York. Yeah. He's got shows in Chicago. Now he just needs one on the West Coast.
That's true.
And they're all northern. They're all northern coasts. And Chicago's high Midwest. New York is obviously high East Coast. And Washington is high West Coast.
I said, really, I mean, at this point, I just need the Burzek family to move out to Seattle. And then I'm good. I don't even have the
No,
use
I
for
want them to stay
Chicago
in
anymore.
Chicago.
I'm cool with them going to Seattle. But again, like,
No, don't break up my PD team. No.
again, though, like Brett and Casey cannot go work for Station 19 because then they're in danger. That's not the place you want
No,
to
we
work.
don't want them to go to Shondaland.
Ooh. Well, no, they just got a new captain. I was going to say they were in need of a captain, but they just got Andy as a captain. So
We don't want them in Shondaland, Jeanette.
we don't actually. We do. We do not. We do not.
I don't want Shondaland stuff, but I hear you guys talk about it quite a bit. And I don't want my people over there.
It's not good
No.
because there are truly no one's safe.
So the cliffhangers that we've got, PD, it's Adam Ruzek. It's the Beck family that we clearly can't be done with that. Yeah, you shot Richard Beck in the head, but there's still Sam Beck, Callum Beck to worry about. So there's got to be something more there. In Fire, it's Mouch appears to be dying rapidly. We don't know what's going to happen there. Brett hasn't said yes to Casey, but she's going to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And whether or not they're going to stay or go. And in Med, it's...
Oh, and is Sebride coming back?
Oh, yeah, Sebride, yeah. But I guess we've been asking that question this entire back half of the season, so it seems like that's not a finale cliffhanger, but it is.
But it is, because I think by next season premiere we should have an answer, I would think.
I don't think Taylor Kinney would drag them through this.
No, I think we'll have an answer by then.
Yeah, I agree. And on Med, we've lost Nick Gelfus. He is off with Natalie in Seattle, but the cliffhanger there is what's going to happen to Med? Is everyone going to go? And it's crazy because I thought Maggie was going to be the one to go because she has been saying goodbye for the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, now she can't go. Okay, no. Will left. Maggie, you have to stay.
I know, which is kind of a bummer because
sorry,
I feel like she's the who needs a break.
Sorry, girl, you got to stay now.
But that's where we're at, all right? So we don't know when these shows will be back on. We do know they've all been renewed. All 3 of them have been renewed. They will be back. We just are unsure of if it'll be fall, if it'll be winter. We're going to get probably, I imagine we'll get like a COVID style season where, no, not COVID style and essentials, but COVID style in that we're only going to get like 13 episodes next season.
Yeah.
Shortened season is what I predict. But again, I was very wrong on Med, so I don't really know. What do I know?
No.
So that's where we've got you with for our finale. Join our One Chicago group on Facebook, where it is One Chicago Family Fan Club. We will keep you updated as much as we can. We're trying to get you some interviews with them. So remember to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and rate and subscribe to our podcast on all the podcast platforms you can. The more listeners we have, the greater interest actors have in coming onto our show. So if you would like us to get you interviews with them, we would love to give them to you. Make sure you're doing that. We are switching it up now because this is our final finale. We don't have any more finales for this current season. So we are moving into our summer season. We will take a week off, but we are coming right back with some shows on June 7th. Every Wednesday, we're going to put on a Netflix episode. We're going to talk about kind of like a year in review of Netflix. We're going to go over all the newest Netflix shows and movies and reality shows. We're going to have a different topic for each one. I'm sure that Queen Charlotte's going to be one that's talked about. What's the other one you guys wanted to talk about? The XO Kitty or Never Have I Ever?
Yeah,
what is that?
Yeah, we've got XO Kitty and the Never Have I Ever will be out soon in like a week, and then we'll watch those in probably a day and be ready to talk about those as well.
So that watch out for that coming at you. And then every Friday, we are going to have a recap of the Cruel Summer episodes. Cruel Summer premieres season 2, different show writers, different show. It's 1999 to 2000. So like a Y2K sort of thing. That's a really good show. If you have not seen it, it's a great show. It's a mystery. It's a kind of like a thriller mystery. It's really good. That premieres June 4th on Freeform, I believe.
And you shouldn't have to watch, if you haven't seen it, you should not have to go back and watch season 1. It's an anthology series, so you will be able to pick right up with season 2. So
exactly.
Check it out.
And we do have a Cruel Summer group, which is Cruel Summer Family Fan Club, right? That's what it's called.
Yes.
Come join that, where we're going to give you updates on any information we have, any news we have, promo videos, promo photos, all that kind of stuff will be in that group. So join that group. Don't forget, join our Netflix group, which is Netflix Family Fan Club. Same thing. Give you all the information on the shows we're coming up. We'll post in there asking for your input, what you want to see, what you want to hear from us on those things. So stay tuned for those things. Wednesdays are Netflix and Fridays are Cruel Summer. And that's all we've got for you today. So we'll see you in about 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Loving our content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to share our podcast with your family and friends. We want to continue the conversation with you. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under Fandom Family Chats, or one of our ever-growing Facebook groups by searching Family Fan Club. We've also launched a website, Family Fan Club 2021 at wixsite.com. You can email us there and keep checking it for announcements and merch coming soon. And of course, be sure to tune in every week for new episodes discussing all your favorite shows.